For my last Live Philosophy project, I decided to do Buddhism, and Buddhism revolves around the Four Noble Truths, which are the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path to end suffering. And one of the main emphasis throughout the unit that I got was the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the path to end suffering. And this includes 1, right view, which is the knowledge of suffering, which I would understand to be the study of the Dhamma. And then 2, right intention, which is non-ill will and non-cruelty, so putting that to practice. 3, right speech, which is abstaining from malicious speech and idle chatter. 4, right action, which is abstaining from killing, from taking what is not given, and sensual pleasures. 5, right livelihood, which is abandoning wrong livelihood. 6, right effort, making the effort, arousing energy, and exerting one's mind to strive. 7, right mindfulness, fully aware and mindful, having put away desires for wealth and possessions and grief for the world. And then lastly, right concentration. So I think all of these work together, or I don't think, all of these are supposed to work in tandem together to rid one of suffering, and once someone is rid of suffering, they can achieve enlightenment or nirvana, which is the goal of Buddhism. In Buddhism, the act of suffering is rooted through cravings and desires, and so by following these cravings and desires, we are led off path to achieving enlightenment, because we get emotions like anger and lust and stuff that is going to be bad and cause us to have evil actions, and we are not it will lead you off focus for creating your own peace of mind and virtue among oneself. Another main aspect of Buddhism is the idea of karma, and so with karma, there are 2 acts. There are evil acts and virtuous acts, and virtuous acts will lead you on the path to achieve enlightenment and nirvana, and it will cause you to have happiness and spiritual development, and then evil acts will set you back on the path to achieve enlightenment, and you will suffer in your future existences. So I think karma is a big incentive as to why people achieve enlightenment, and one of my favorite quotes from the book is, we are the authors of our own destiny, so if we are good to the world, then the world will be good back to us, and we will achieve the destiny that we want, or if we are evil, then we will suffer from it, and we will be set back on our path to achieving virtue. So for my first exercise for the Buddhism Live Philosophy project was to meditate. And at first, I really did not enjoy it, and I struggled with it. I was getting anxious. I felt like I was thinking of things more than I wanted to, and I was just trying to tell myself, don't think this, don't let these thoughts come to your head. But as I watched some guided meditation, and as the week went on, I realized it's not about pushing stuff out of your head. It's about kind of confronting things and learning how to deal with it, and realizing that the outcomes of whatever happens is what's supposed to happen, and that just gave me a better peace of mind, and I ended up enjoying meditation a lot towards the end. For my second exercise, I got the idea from this book, and in the introduction and throughout some of the chapters of this book, I really saw the emphasis on selflessness and helping other people. So one of my exercises was to do a random act of kindness every day, and this one was a little bit hard for me to come up with ideas just because we're stuck at home. I only live at home with my mom, so there wasn't much I could do. But every day I found something creative. I made breakfast for my mom, I went to a drive-through and paid for someone's meal, or I wrote letters to nurses on National Nursing Day. And this is just something that I valued so much throughout the project, and not only did it make me happy that I was making someone else feel better, it also made me feel better when I felt like I was having kind of a sluggish day or I wasn't the happiest, and I really appreciated that, and I think that definitely was the biggest eye-opener to Buddhism for me throughout the week. For my third exercise, I decided to go vegetarian for the week, and this followed the aspect of Buddhism that says that you should not kill living beings, and I found this exercise to not be that hard because I don't rely on meat too much in my diet. So if I could, I would have changed it to getting rid of one of my favorite foods or getting rid of social media for the week, because I would have liked to follow the aspect of getting rid of desires, because I think that would be something that would turn out to be very beneficial. And kind of once you are able to get past that desire and get rid of it, you're just like more content and more present in life, and you realize how much materials and desires like wealth don't really matter, and as long as you're content without them. I did appreciate the idea behind going vegetarian and not killing living beings, but I just think that I would have been able to get a little bit more out of the project and could have been more beneficial with a different exercise. For my fourth exercise, I decided to incorporate the aspect of wisdom and knowledge throughout Buddhism, and I decided to read for 20 to 30 minutes every day. And I really enjoyed this one because if we were not at home and not in the middle of a pandemic, I don't think I would have been able to incorporate this, because I was just so busy with soccer and rush life and school that I never really felt like I had time to just sit back and enjoy something. So I definitely took advantage of that, and I ended up loving this exercise because I do enjoy reading, but like I said, I don't normally have time for it. So I think this was extremely beneficial because instead of going on my phone at night or being on my screen more than I already was because of school online, I just felt a lot more content, and like I was so productive and less worried about being connected to social media, and I definitely think I got a lot out of this exercise. I think that the pandemic actually helped a lot with realizing and practicing Buddhism philosophy, because I think everyone today is so focused on chasing desires and chasing wealth and having jobs that are going to make them rich and materialism and all that kind of stuff, that when all that's taken away, like during this pandemic, and all we can do is stay home, and we have to focus on finding other activities and other things to do that just keeps us content and doesn't drive us crazy. So with Buddhism, I found that getting old hobbies back, like reading, is what really makes you content with yourself rather than social media, which you're so worried about other people, and that is not one of the focuses of Buddhism. So I think that the pandemic really helps you realize like desires and materialism is not what needs to be relied on. It's focusing on yourself and being good to other people around you, and that what you can't control is out of your control, and you need to really focus on yourself and being content with what you're given.